Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Living on Music. I'm Steve Houck. Very, very happy to have you along for another incredible journey. And I'm telling you, this is going to be something you won't forget. And if you know Reverend Peyton and the Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band, you know how unique and special and dynamic and quirky and just really something special they are. And they've been around for about 15, 16 years. I'm sitting here in the Bluebird Theater in Denver, one of Reverend Peyton's favorite venues to play. And he has been playing live acts, probably, I guess it was close to 250 a year or something to that effect. And then obviously got felled not only by the fact that his musicianship had to be quarantined and he had to kind of find ways, but he and his wife both got COVID. And that would be something obviously very, very scary. And it's not over. They're out of it, but she's having some effects and things like that. And he talks very candidly and about his life going in, obviously into the pandemic, was surging along. Had an album that the Blues Foundation's Blues Music Awards nominated as Best Blues Album. He's just very unique voice. It's just something I bet you've never heard. And tonight, Reverend Peyton will join us. Just real quick, as we've talked about, Living on Music is now directly posted to YouTube after every invite. The invites still go to Monday at 7 p.m. But right now, when you click on an invite and click going or interested, you're pinged at 7 and there is a link and it just says go to link in a big blue box on the invite and you click there and off you go to the YouTube show. Facebook was just not being palatable in a lot of ways. When we would do live pre-produced shows, it sometimes would, you've probably seen it if you've been a fan of Living on Music, it's sometimes stalled the show and kicked it around on the first airing of it. So that said, would love to have people subscribe to the Living on Music with Steve Houck channel. It is really something that would mean a lot because everybody who has been a member of Living on Music has enjoyed what Living on Music, the show, and the page on Facebook has brought. And on YouTube, you'll be able to find that and just a whole different kind of swath of music across the board, local music, my own music, my favorite clips of people, and of course, Living on Music every Monday at 7 o'clock. So please, if you get a chance, subscribe to Living on Music on YouTube. About 5 years ago, I found a musician online, I believe. A song came through from him and his band's record, So Delicious. And I had never heard anything like these guys. Reverend J. Peyton and the Big Damn Band are something very, very unique. And they have been going strong for close to 17 or 18 years when Reverend Peyton married washboard Breezy, the Miss Elizabeth of Country Blues. That's the long title, Peyton, in 2003. And they began a trek together as Reverend Peyton and the Big Damn Band. And there is an incredibly unique sound to these guys and an incredible vibe. It is always upbeat, elating. Sure, some of the lyrics, as we'll talk about in the show tonight with Reverend Peyton, have some heavy meaning, including a few from his brand new record that he wrote during the pandemic, Dance Songs for Hard Times. But this is one very, very unique band. It's American country blues. It is something that, again, very, very unique that I haven't come across in a long time. And after interviewing him by phone from livingonmusic.com 6 years ago, to be able to sit and talk and look at each other, and he is something very special. And you guys are in for an amazing treat, especially those of you who know this band so well and want to hear somebody like him talk deeply about himself and what he and Breezy went through in the pandemic is astounding. And prior to the pandemic, he had a setback. Anyway, enough of babbling by me. Let us give a very, very warm Living on Music welcome. I am honored and so happy to have Reverend J. Peyton. Reverend Peyton, it is amazing to see you, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Today is a much better day than yesterday was. Yesterday was a heavy day.
Right. We were chatting a little bit about this. Talk to the Living on Music Nation a little bit about you were going to play the Summer Fest. You still are playing the Summer Fest, and what a lineup! God, you can go down the list of people that are on that docket, including you guys. But the night you were playing, ZZ Top was playing. Talk a little bit about how that happened yesterday and why that was a kind of a hectic day.
Okay, so we'll just we should just go ahead and come right out and say it. Dusty Hill, bass player for ZZ Top, been with the band for 50 years since beginning, passed away yesterday. Yeah. And we are scheduled not only to do Summerfest but to do an entire month of shows with ZZ Top in September and October.
Wow.
So, an entire tour. In fact, Billy Gibbons called us up himself and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about doing these shows." And Billy is he's incredible, man. Like, he's so cool, you hardly believe that someone that cool exists. I'm not kidding.
I agree. I've interviewed him once and he was something else.
Yeah, you're just like, no one's this cool. And you're like, damn it, this guy's this cool, And I just love him. And was so looking forward to this tour. And I hate to sort of I don't know, feel sorry for myself, but I couldn't help it. It's like, man, here we are. And so yesterday was just a all kinds of emotions. You're sad because Dusty Hill's a legend, and I was looking forward to getting to know him better. Cause I've got to know Billy, but I never really got to know Dusty. I've had a few conversations with Frank, but never Dusty, and it was just like, man, this is just. So yesterday we're looking at, we've already got deposits down on tour buses and all this other stuff for this tour, so we're just like, oh man. So I couldn't help but feel sorry for myself, even though the world lost a legend, family lost a family member, friends lost their friend, band
but you guys are trying to break out, and here we go, and you're jumping back in, and something like this happens. There's every reason to be kind of hit hard.
So I had people message me from literally all over the world. And you're like, Rev, you heard about this? I'm like, yes, I heard about it. So, but we have gotten confirmation that Dusty's final request to Billy Gibbons was that their guitar tech, Elwood, take over the bass and they continue on. Wow. So Billy says the show will go on.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. I'm terribly, terribly sorry about losing Dusty Hill. The world's lost a legend, and I know that Billy and Frank lost a bandmate and a friend and everything else. But the show will go on.
Yes,
the show must go on. So that's a bright spot anyway. And for fans that are out there and want to see this happen, I've gotten word also that Elwood is incredible, that no one knows better. And I can tell you this much. I'll tell you a little big damn band trivia, speaking from experience. I have had 2 guitar techs take over as full-time drummers for me.
Oh,
my current drummer, who's been with me the longest, longer than anybody else.
Yes.
Mr. Sad Max Centini was my guitar tech for a few years before he got promoted to full-time drummer.
Oh my God. Perfect. So it does work perfectly when that mesh
your crew is more like, it's like your family, right? When done right, people don't realize that, but you're out there on the road, you're living with these people. It's not a regular job. I always tell people, I'm like, look, this ain't like working for a bank,
right?
Like, we're living together out here like this. If you don't like this, you don't like how we do things or whatever, it ain't gonna work. Like, you may be able to go and put up with a job you don't like and then come home. Like, there is no put up with a job you don't like and come home. You're just putting up with us,
Totally.
And what this is. And if you can't handle it, don't like it, then get out. But usually what happens is you form these bonds that go way beyond just, this guy tunes my guitars. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's a way, way bigger and stronger thing. So,
yes.
And multiple times, Max being really the shining star of it for us, these people become more like family.
Yeah, they do. And I remember interviewing David Crosby, and they were playing the Birchmere here in Alexandria, and the drummer had to bail. His father had died, and they brought in the guitar tech, and he kicked tail. They did Long Time Gone, and he's doing everything perfectly. So, well, look, Rev, first of all, very glad that you are able to save those dates. I mean, honestly, Dusty is a huge loss. Obviously, he's been ill, I've heard, for a number of years, and it's still a huge hit. As I said early before we started the show, one of my first shows of my life when I was 16 was those guys, and they took me throughout. So very good to hear, though, again, amidst the sadness, that you are going to be able to keep that going. 250 dates a year here and there that you guys play. Well, no, not in 2020. How did Rev and Breezy and Matt, how did you guys get through? Did you have to jump over a hurdle of emotions to get through?
Man, I mean, it's tough to describe. I mean, I think that March and April of 2020 were the absolute worst moments of my entire life.
Wow. Yeah.
By far.
Yep.
So let me walk you through my 2020. I'll try to do it fast because it's a long laundry list of troubles and whatever. But
yeah,
January we go out on the Delbert McClinton cruise.
Oh,
sandy beaches and lots of great bands, great artists. These music festival cruises, man, they're like taking over.
They are. Yep.
So we're out there and we're having a great time. And one day in, I broke my thumb.
Oh.
Which is pretty much the end of it, right?
Right.
Like, well, okay. So, I mean, I'm just panicked. I'm absolutely panicked because now I'm not going to be able to finish these shows out. I'm going to have to cancel everything. I know. I mean, when something like that happens to you, an injury like that, you're like, am I going to play again?
Yeah. Right.
So, the good news about that is, one, I'm 100%, but I had to lay off of it for 6 weeks.
Oh,
and so nothing for 6 weeks. So from January up until halfway through February, I can't do anything with this hand. Then I have to start, rehabbing it. We've got shows at the end of February, right? So I have to start laying in on the rehab and scraping the rust off immediately. So then we go out and we do 12 shows, and then everything stops. And I'll tell you, in that time, so I broke my thumb, February up until then it's panic. How do I get myself back together?
Right.
March 3rd was when I first remember feeling sick.
Oh.
So I was the one that first got sick.
Oh.
And then everybody did. Well, at the time we were like, I knew that the coronavirus was something to be concerned about. In fact, the beginning of February, when we were we were on the road, like we were traveling, even though we weren't playing shows. Breezy and I were just traveling, trying to take my mind off of because it was a really dark time for me, that alone. I said, hey, I want you to send a bunch of toilet paper to the house. And she's like, why?
Right.
And I said, look, if this thing turns out to be for real, the first thing that's going to run out is toilet paper. And she thought I was insane. And my buddy Jim, who does me a lot of solids, and he a lot of times I get packages from on the road, he'll put them inside my house for me. And he put this big thing of toilet paper in the house. He's like, Rev, what the hell are you getting toilet paper mailed to you for? And I said, buddy, in a month, you might need some and you'll know where to get it.
Right.
So, unfortunately, I foresaw that, but I had no idea that it was already so widespread. So March 3rd, I get sick. I spread it to everybody else fairly quickly. The last person that got sick was Breezy. And she got it the worst. Our final show was March 11th in Chicago. And the next day, I took her to the hospital.
Wow.
We get there. The doctor's like, hey, like she's in bad shape, but I normally wouldn't ever send somebody this sick home, but I don't know if I'm going to be inundated with elderly people here or what. So like, you should just go home, and if she gets worse, come back. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Yep.
And for 3.5 weeks, she had a temperature off and on for 102. I actually went and got a second thermometer 3 weeks in because I didn't believe it. I thought, well, maybe this thermometer's broke. It can't be right.
God.
So she was sick and wouldn't get well. The long-term damage, she goes to this facility getting treatments for long-haul COVID still.
Really?
Yeah. She's got tinnitus and vertigo that they attribute to it. Her lungs are permanently scarred.
Oh man,
permanently scarred. But luckily, her breathing capacity is back to normal. So it's kind of like, you get someone stabs you in the arm, and eventually your arm works, but you might always have a scar there you can show off. That's kind of what her lungs are. Is that it may not affect her permanently, but on an X-ray or whatever, they'll always be able to see that her lungs, went through some stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow, that is stunning, man.
So we're sitting around home, and this is so early, like we didn't know. They're like a quarantine for 14 days. Well, at the time I didn't know if that meant 14 days from when we first started feeling sick or after we feel well. Right. I was scared to even go to the grocery store. We had neighbors dropping off eggs on our porch.
I bet.
We had, it was a lonesome time, and there was 4 days where our power was out. Anyone that lives in rural America knows that the wind blows too hard and you knock your power out forever. Yeah. So it's too many trees and stuff. So when the power was out for 4 days, Breezy's sick, you can't get well. My dad is dealing with cancer. Oh. And I can't go see him or nothing. And I'd never felt so damn lonesome my whole life. And almost the entire record, Dance Songs for Hard Times, was written in that period.
It was. So you were continuing to, again, the 70 musicians I've had on, there is a commonality among you guys that music was the salve. And at least through that, Rev, I haven't heard that kind of story. I've had guests who've lost parents to this. I've had other issues. To have your thumb snap and then you both get COVID, unbelievable. Well, you wrote the record, which is damn strong. I love it. I've been listening to it a lot lately when I knew you were coming on, and it's all you. It's that fabulous Reverend Peyton and the Big Damn Band sound, but there's a thing going on to it. How did the songs start evolving to you, Rev?
Well, with this one, and the older I get, man, I just let them happen. You know what I mean? Like I just follow it where it's going to follow, and I'm trying to do stuff that I think is fresh. Like I'm playing fingerstyle country blues, right? That's essentially what it is. But I'm trying to take it to places that maybe it hadn't been done before. Right. Like for instance, like "Too Cool to Dance." "Too Cool to Dance" is a weird song for us, right? It kind of feels like maybe it was a lost song from Chuck Berry or something, Right. But all the while I'm playing those Chuck Berry licks at the same time live,
right?
To tape, all the bass line I'm playing with my thumbs, and the whole record was recorded live to analog tape, 8-track analog tape.
Really?
And I sang it and played it at the same time.
Oh, spectacular!
So it feels exciting like that because it's like right there. It's like it's alive. It's happening right.
Well, that's a perfect segue, my friend. Let's show the Living on Music Nation a good snippet of what Rev was just talking about from Dance Songs for Hard Times. Here's a chunk of "Too Cool to Dance."
Dreaming about your sweet kiss, but it won't happen if we ain't on the phone. And it don't matter what them folks say, they gonna talk some anyway. The time is right now, what are we waiting for? We may not get another chance. Oh, please don't tell me you're too cool to dance. Our gift tonight is the circumstance. Don't tell me you're too cool to dance. The stars are high above, so bright. The song is hitting us just right. And it may never be this good again. Outside, but not in here. They're all fake, but we're sincere. And pretty soon, this old song will end. We may not get another chance. No, please don't tell me you're too cool to dance. Our gift tonight is the circumstance. Oh, please don't tell me you're too cool to dance.
Yeah, you're not having too much fun in that video. I mean, you have fun in everything you do. There's a sense of elation, but boy, just sitting out there with you guys, it was just so wonderful to see you play again. You did something in May, Rev, of in Brown County, Indiana, the home of Reverend. What was the impetus behind doing this live stream with doing Dance Songs for Hard Times?
Well, you talking about just like our live streams we started doing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're looking at our entire livelihood and career collapse, right, and fall apart. And maybe I am not smart enough or not a good enough business person, but I didn't get any of those PPP loans because first off, the loans scared me. They're like, oh, they'll most likely be forgiven. And I thought, well, I don't want to lose all my money and then also have to pay some loan back to the government. That sounds like a bad idea. Right. And I'm sure that, everybody just gets the money and is going to run, and that's fine. But I wanted to try to figure out how to not only survive, but also keep my band and crew paid too, which I managed to do.
Great.
And we did it through our Patreon and our live streams, and we just learned how to do it, man. I mean, we split together and we did it. And now we're continuing on doing it because, the music business is not back like it's not. I mean, people are going, man, I'm real glad you're back doing shows again. It's like, dude, I've got a 30-day stretch I'm in the middle of right now with no shows in the middle of summer. That don't happen. No. I mean, the shows just aren't there. So many venues are gone. So many festivals just couldn't get together by this year, or they went to a way smaller lineup, so they can't have as many bands. So there's not as much to go around.
Right.
It's just not possible. So we're still doing all that same stuff. We still need to do these things to keep ourselves afloat. And I just refuse to give up. I said, man, if we stop doing this, then we're not a band. You know what I mean? And everyone's going to go get jobs doing landscaping, or they're gonna, we're not gonna make music.
Right.
And I mean, I felt like we needed to make music, I mean, I had all these songs that I were pouring out of me, and I felt like we need to record them, and then we need to make music videos. We need to promote it. We need to do this stuff, and we can't do that. We can't ask people to do that and not, like, I can't ask my guys to help me with this and not pay them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I also felt like, I don't know, man, maybe I have like a over strong sense of loyalty, but people that help me, I try to help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's you. I mean, that sounds like you from what I know about you, and have kept up with you since we talked. That sounds like you. Again, let's show everybody a little clip, and this is wonderful. The setting. Where was the setting of this of the virtual stuff you did? Was that literally in your house?
It's in my living room.
Great.
Yeah, a little log cabin in the southern Indiana hills.
Who knew, right? Were you doing any virtual stuff prior to the pandemic, Rev?
We had never ever like live streamed a concert before ever. We had to learn how to do it ourselves, and we got set up so like when you're watching this too, it's not just us holding up a phone. We've got multicam, multi-track stuff so that we can bring someone, I think, a better show. If you're asking people to send you, open up their Venmo account and pay a ticket, because what we did was kind of like a pay what you can.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the way to go, because that way people that were also really impacted and hurt, they could catch a show. And then the people that, some people made a lot of money off this. Like some people were like, I told people, I go, Rev, man, I feel bad for you, but I never made so much money in my life. And I want to be like, smack. But I understand, I get it, but though for those folks, it allowed them to open up that wallet a little wider than some of the others and help out too, hopefully.
It did. I mean, and it was the in the DC region, the collaboration between musicians was just phenomenal. Everybody trying to keep everybody up. I mean, in my own way, I started this show just to give people like you and all your musical colleagues a way to just talk and engage. And sometimes people were like, oh, I forgot about that, what we did a few years ago and all that. Speaking of that, you were cranking in 2018 and 2019. Things Poor Until Payday did great. I mean, so it's like the momentum pre-thumb, and then COVID that was cranking along for you guys. Don't you feel that?
Yeah, and I felt like we had to keep it going. I couldn't stomach not.
No, and you didn't. And actually, we're going to show why, because I think Dance Songs for Hard Times is going to be something that people are going to really latch onto. This is from Brown County, Indiana, the home of Reverend Peyton and the Big Damn Band, doing a little virtual home.
Hit it, Max! Woo! Hey, old man, what you done wrong? But don't hurry, son. Just don't tell your mama. Don't tell your mama. Don't tell your mama. Hey, old man, what have you done wrong?
Well, I was just in your living room. Very nice. Have fun, man. Now, you know, again, yeah, you want to be out playing at the venues. You know, as you know, this is the venue, the Bluebird in Denver, which I know you love. And there's so many venues that are hurting, especially in all these regions that we all go to shows in and things like that. And it's really hard to deal with. How have you been feeling about the venues and things like that?
Well, I'm nervous. I know there's a lot that are still, having trouble, and I know that there's a lot that didn't make it.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Oh, well, they'll come back." And I'm like, "Well, when you put your entire life savings into something, and then it fails, you can't just go, well, I might just do that again."
Right.
A music venue takes a little bit more to open than just say a bar,
Yeah.
because you have to have a bar, then you have to have a PA system, you have to have a layout, you have to have sound stuff, there's lights, the whole deal. It's a little bit
Right.
more than just like open up a bar. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if any of y'all out there have ever priced a liquor license, but my goodness, you take some money, right? Take some doing,
Yeah.
something you just like can just be like, well, let's just do that, So it's I don't know. I know people, they need music, they need the community of it, they need the vibrational just therapy of it. They need all that. We need it. I believe that in my heart, and I know that eventually things will settle out and they'll come back. It's just who will make it to that finish line.
Yes, exactly. I mean, to see some of the venues in DC itself, the Birchmere, the Hamilton, which I think you guys are coming up to play soon, right? Again?
I know we have a show coming up very soon. I should have probably checked, but I bigdamnband.com.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's another place that you've played before, and they were down and on the ground, and they were churning along before the this hit. And just hopefully, in the introduction to the show, I often do the savemusicvenues.com, which is Peter Frampton's son started, and all the proceeds from all the swag you buy goes right to the venue of your choice. So it gives people a little bit of a chance to at least think they're helping, but it is a bear and they're climbing out of it. Let's delve still into a little bit more of Dance Songs for Hard Times, because again, it's I don't know, man. I've missed you, and and to hear this record and see you, and what you just said before, you wanted to keep playing, wanted to get out and do music videos, and the mood that you guys convey is phenomenal. Although in Dirty Hustlin', the puppet Rev, right?
Yeah.
And I love Breezy's look when you're lying in bed and she looks over and is like, oh, geez. And how did that come to be? How did that whole thing evolve?
Well, I mean, for people that know about us, they know that we have a ton of music videos. Like, we love making music.
Yeah,
videos.
totally. That's how I felt for you guys. Oh my God.
And I love them, right? And we're good at it. Like, it's weird. Like, band like us is so good at making music videos, and we do it with no budget. We do it all on our own. And I think that they hold up against big budget music videos put out by major label artists with
I agree.
literally millions of dollars.
I agree.
We do it with nothing, with our friends and family and whatnot. I've always wanted to have a video with puppets, and I've had several ideas over the years. It's something I've had, and with this song, I wanted to tell this dark story. And if we did it all with people, it would have to be, one, very cinematic, and then two, it would come across really dark, and it'd be hard to make it soften it in any way without it being silly or whatever. So the idea was to have this puppet be the main character, and but have only that be the puppet. Everyone else is human beings.
Yeah.
And then it's just a day in the life. And I wanted to paint a picture about kind of what the song is about in a way, and just sort of like the struggle and stress of it all. And there's kind of a climax there that is pretty intense. And I don't want to give it away so people can check it out and see it, because I think it's much better if you don't know it's coming.
Right.
But it, that was, imagine that with human beings, it would be pretty rough. So
yes.
it just you know, it's kind of something that was born in my insane brain, man. I don't know. You know, I told, it's like with that video, I'm like, so we're gonna have a video with a puppet in it, okay? And I told people what was gonna happen. They're like, what? And I'm like, yep. So then, like with like Ways and Means, our music video Ways and Means, I said, okay, we're gonna do a video. It's gonna be in the laundromat.
Yes.
And they're like, that sounds like the most lame video ever. I go, no, it's gonna be awesome. Trust me. But you know, and I told Breezy, I said, we're all gonna be wearing the same colors. And she's like, well, what colors? And I said, well, I don't know yet until we get the laundromat figured out. And she's like, what does that mean? I'm like, trust me, it'll make sense. You know, when so you know, these things are, I don't know where my brain comes up with them, but it just you know, well, I tell you one thing about music video is,
right,
how many times have you talked to like someone, an artist, and or you read about it or see them on a video or something, they're talking about a song and you have developed a relationship with this song,
right,
and then when they tell you what it was about to them, you go, what the hell? That don't mean, like, what? Like, it sometimes it even bums you out. You're like, that's not what I thought that was about. I'm disappointed, you know?
Right.
So a music video, not only, you know, do they get to sort of you know, have something visually to help carry them along so they hear the whole song, but also you can paint a picture in their mind that helps them to sort of understand a little bit more about what you were thinking, right? Where you were coming from with the song, the vibe that you wanted to have. Because, you know, music videos aren't always just about telling stories. Sometimes it's just about a vibe. Sometimes it's just about having fun. And, you know, like Ways and Means, it's a little bit of a story in that there is this 23 seconds of a very cinematic intro where there is no music. And we've never done that before.
Right.
You know, it's like, boom, it starts. So there's a little 23 seconds of cinema that sort of tell the story about what's happening and how this comes to be. And with Dirty Hustlin', you know, that video is incredibly cinematic and it's beautifully shot. I mean, Tyler Zoller is the videographer on it, who we worked with on a ton of still photos. And,
wow.
And he's the one that shot, let's see, it was We Deserve a Happy Ending. He shot that video, which is, I think, one of our best. You know,
wow.
Front Porch Sessions.
Yeah.
It's that was an insane thing. I mean, that video, you look at that. I mean, we did literally high level Hollywood style stunts, and we did it with, you know, my best friend Jim. I set him on fire in my own house.
Yes.
So, I mean, like we do that. We do this with no budget. No one's giving us money. No one's saying, like, Breezy tried to talk me out of that video. She's like, this is really maybe the dumbest thing you've ever wanted to do. And I can't believe that we're doing it. And I said, look, if we pull this off, it's going to be awesome, right? She said, yes, but if it fails, we're going to be pariahs. Like, people will hate us forever. And I said, well, you know, no guts, no glory. So let's do it. Let's do it. I'm like, Jim's excited about it.
Oh yeah, really? Well, come on then, let's do it. No, that is, and that tells the tale and the MO of your videos. Let's jump into a couple from Dance Songs for Hard Times. You guys just heard about this one, and in fact, I'm gonna show the whole thing. This is the puppet-led video with a hell of an ending, Dirty Hustlin'. Well, there you go. Nice, nice ending. That is just incredible. And what fun. Who made the puppet of you?
That's my buddy Shelby Kelly. So we actually know a handful of puppeteers, and Shelby had at the beginning of the pandemic had started doing these little puppet shows with his wife on the internet. His wife's a teacher, and they were very much like Muppets, like Sesame Street kind of stuff. It was really well done, really cool, and I contacted him and I said, man, I've always wanted to have this puppet video. I've always wanted to do something like this with you. And I said, I really want this to look very Muppet-like, very Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Because there's, puppets can be very, very intricate, and like you can go wild, and
yeah,
I know some puppeteers that make some pretty wild stuff.
Right.
But I'm like, I want this one to be very simple and Muppet-like. I said, it's really going to sell this, really going to help. It's got to be very much like it's a Muppet.
Oh.
So so everybody in this video, okay, I'll walk you through. Every single person in this video has been in at least one of our videos.
Oh, perfect.
Some of them have been in 4 or 5 music videos of ours. So they're all friends of ours. And leading up to our boss, the crime boss, the crime syndicate boss in the end that our puppet meets. That's Elsie. She was the little girl from the Devils Look Like Angels video.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, and it's crazy. I hope she ain't mad at me for saying this, but she still looks like so young. She's now 18 years old. Is going to be going off to study drama in college, and she's gonna be happy she looks young at some point.
Yeah, totally. And she'll appreciate. Yeah, she'll still appreciate.
She's probably bummed that, but when she like that video was made like 7 or 8 years ago. The Devils Look Like Angels,
right.
And so she was like 11 or so, and she looked like she was 6. So
right.
It was really perfect in that way. But she's incredible. She was incredible then. She's incredible now.
Yeah.
So when I had the video, I told Breezy, I said, I really hope we can get Elsie back. Elsie's been in a couple of our other videos in the background too.
Right.
She is an incredibly talented actress. She's been in a ton of big productions and theater, theater productions, big time stuff. And she, I imagine, will go on to do a ton of great things.
Oh, I bet. What a cool thing to have this kind of family. I
hope she remembers this when she's real big time, and maybe uses one of our songs in a movie she's in or something. Because I think she really has the talent to go there. And so having her be the sort of our the crime syndicate boss, and I told her this was the only direction. I said, look, you like this character. Think of it sort of like it's the girl from Devils that's grown up, and now she's the head of a crime syndicate. I told the other guys to dress like Reservoir Dogs. So you just sort of you just be that, like whatever that is to you be that. And so she showed up with that outfit and everything. Like it was so perfect. I wanted to literally shed a tear, and everybody played their part so perfect. I mean, everybody. It is like it would have took a Hollywood casting director 6 months to find characters as perfect as my friends who I just had in my brain and called up, said, hey, can you take a day off work, come shoot a music video in the hot sun in the middle of the day?
Right.
And every single person I asked was like, yes.
Oh yes. Man, of course they were, because it's you.
It made me feel really good.
I bet it did. We're talking about Ways and Means, and again, talk about a mood set. I mean, I've been playing all these for days, and just I'm back in your mode. Ways and Means it's the big damn laundromat, which I just loved behind you. And you just talked a little bit about that. What was the impetus behind the song itself, Ways and Means, just to get through?
The song is like, I got the ways, I ain't got the means, and the song is about basically not having generational wealth, not having that famous last name, not having some big money behind you. It's this, it's kind of this, it's really about how many people, and I'm not going to name names, but there's a ton of people out there, that are musicians and or famous actors or famous artists, whatever, and look up their family. Look how much money they had being able to be pumped into that to make sure they were the ones that got the promotion. It happens a lot,
It does.
and it's something that I piss and moan about, you know, because I don't have that. You know, my dad ain't got a famous last name. He ain't got money to dump in my career.
Right.
And we never had a big label come pick us up. We never had, you know, we've always done everything honest, one fan at a time, grassroots. And so that's what that song is about. And in my mind, nothing illustrates sort of that concept better. The people that have the ways, but they don't have the means. Nothing illustrates that like a laundromat, because only
Wow.
folks like that know what the inside of a laundromat looks like. So that's kind of what that was, almost a nod to that. So people would, and I also thought too, like some nights you're in a laundromat and they can be kind of creepy. You know, I when we're in laundromats, it's the middle of the night, right? So you're on tour somewhere, it's 3 a.m. You're in a laundromat and you're looking around and maybe it's creepers in there. You don't know, but also maybe that person, you know, was leaning against that dryer. Maybe that person is a great artist.
Yeah.
Maybe that person is some sort of you know, fantastic musician, and you know, never the world will never know. So that was kind of what I wanted to do, is like maybe you go in this laundromat and you know, someone hits play on this, and then you sort of discover that there's all these great people that were in there. You know,
Oh, it's perfect.
that
And
was kind of the idea. That's how my brain works, man. You know,
it does. I can tell with what I've seen over the years, and you have some wonderful ladies dancing in the aisles there. Are they friends and family as well?
Well, so the one of them, she's punk bar on Instagram. She likes me to go like that, so that people can check her out on Instagram. But
Great.
she has been sort of like the dance coordinator for a handful of our videos. So we've worked together on a lot of stuff, and she's also helped me kind of coordinate crowds and stuff. Just a dear friend. She's you know, really talented, and she knows a ton of cool people. So a couple of them, I told her, I said, look, if you can make this happen, that would be incredible. So a few of them I kind of had in my mind. I'm like, see if you can't get, you know. So she went out and got just really, really talented people that were really cool and really believed in the idea, believed in the song. Like everybody listened to the song, and they kind of worked up their sort of routine, and you know, it was just
great.
I mean, it worked out perfect. Like I think that Ways and Means, of every music video we've ever done, I think Ways and Means is the closest to the way my brain thought it.
Wow.
Like never has a music video been more exact
Oh.
that we've ever done to what was in my brain. It's the most absolutely right on. Like sometimes it's not exact, like a happy accident. You shoot something, you're like, wow, this looks better than I thought it would, you know?
Right.
Ways and Means is like my brain had been downloaded in the video. It's exact. It's unbelievable. I mean, the laundromat's exact. The dancers are exact. The little intro part is exact. It's like, it's unbelievable. Like it almost felt like it was like the Twilight Zone. It was so exact.
Why do you think, Rev, that happened that way?
Well, I think two reasons. One is that Tyler he understands where I'm coming from. He listens to me. He believes in it, and we work together really well. That's number one. Right. And number two is, you know, I think that we're just getting better at sort of making it happen. You know, over the years we've been doing this. I mean, you go back to some of our early videos, and some of them were pretty cool. But man, if I could do them now, you know, it'd be incredible. So
right,
it's just I've learned a lot, and and I keep trying to learn. You know, I mean, that's why this record's our best record, is because I've learned a lot about making records. I've learned a lot about just who I am, because I'm always trying to filter it down. You know, who am I? You know, and if I know that, then how do I filter that? How do I get that? What's more me? How do I get that on record? Right?
Yeah.
How do I get closer to that on record and song?
Yeah.
It's something I constantly work on, and a lot of artists don't, man. I mean, I'm just being frank. They don't. They kind of develop a thing, and then they ride that, and then they're like, okay, well, that's good enough, you know.
Yes.
And sometimes it is.
Right.
You know, but I just refuse to do that. Like I'm always trying to beat myself. I'm always trying to top myself. You know, like this record's gonna be tough to beat, but I'm gonna come back, you know, whenever I get the next one written and everything recorded and everything else, I'm going to beat it. You know, I'm not sure how yet, but by God, I will. I'm going to beat it. You know?
Well, that's the thing with, you know, So Delicious. I mean, the quality of the records that have been coming along that I've been in the middle of, and you've been going on for a long time. I noticed that what did you celebrating an 18 years of marriage? To
Yeah,
Breezy?
let's see, it's 18 years. You're right, 18 years.
Wow.
I've been with Breezy for 18 years. We've been together since I was 19.
That's what I remember researching you back when, and then I was doing a little catch up, and I'm like, wow. Well, we'll talk about you guys in a second. Let's go. And you picked yellow as the color in the laundromat. Am I right or
Yellow
wrong?
and green, yeah.
This is fantastic. And
Well,
again,
to match the colors, and they were already in the laundromat. So
well, it worked beautifully. And again, what you were just saying, man, is something that I've loved about you guys since day one, is that there is an authentic nature to what you're doing. And it's you. And it was you when I started watching these videos. And again, the fact that you think that this was kind of locked into your brain, this is fabulous. This is Dance Songs for Hard Times, another from that the new wonderful new album from Reverend Peyton and the Big Damn Band. This is Ways and Means.
I got all the shine, I just ain't got the sheen. I got all the ways, I just ain't got the means. It don't mean a thing. Got a $3 shirt and $100 hat. My knife is sharp, my guitar never flat. King of the laundromat. I got all the ways, I just ain't got the means.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, this record, written during the most difficult time of your life, was not a record, and it's varied. Some people put out songs that were about the doom and gloom and how we deal, and oh my God, and we'll be fine. There's a feeling of what you wanted to get across, but boy, is it a lot of fun still and elating. And I think that's what you're trying to do, right? Is keep people going with you.
Yeah, someone said to me one time, and it kind of stuck in my craw a little bit. They said, Rev, you always write all these songs that are actually, when you listen to the words, are very sad, but they sound happy. And I started thinking about that, and I'm like, man, I think he's right. And
Wow.
I could go through this record, all right, like Ways and Means. The video feels joyful, like the song is definitely like is a boogie rhythm, like a hill country boogie rhythm blues song with slide guitar. It's reminiscent of Charlie Patton or something. But the lyrics are actually like kind of heavy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you get into it, it's about not having not having the money to fund your life in a way.
Right.
You go through like Dirty Hustling is about when at the end of March. I looked over at Breezy and I said, hey, look, like we're going to get through this one way or another. I don't know how. I said, I ain't scared of dirty hustling. I'll get it done. And she knew exactly what that meant, because when we first met, when I was 19 years old, I was involved in some not quite legal
Right.
enterprises.
Sure.
And that's how I was, basically was able to fund my life back then. So
Yep.
she knew what I was talking about. She just kind of looked at me like I was insane. Like, please don't be get any ideas, but that was kind of where I was. So
Sure.
I every song is really kind of heavy. Even Too Cool to Dance, like to me that's a heavy song. Just like it's about seizing the day. Like when I wrote that song, I thought, man, I don't ever want to be too cool to dance again. Like that's a song to me as much as anybody else.
Sure.
Kind of hidden in a love song, but that's
Yeah.
really what it's about. It's like, please, let's not be too cool to dance anymore.
No, man.
And like every one of these songs is kind of like that. The closing song, Come Down Angels, I think is maybe the most cynical, sad, dark song I ever wrote, but it sounds like this up tempo gospel number, so there's all that stuff. The only one that really like you can is like No Telling When is pitifully sad, and it sounds like it. But so many of the others are actually very heavy in their lyrics, but sound dancey. And that's kind of where the title came from. I was like, it became my working title. I said, these are dance songs for hard times, you know. And then like I said that enough, I went, no, man, that's the title. You know, that's what this is. This song is dance songs for hard times. That's what it is. So
Yeah.
you know, that's where the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, well, you got it across, but you did both. Your emotions were conveyed, but it's Rev and it's Breezy and Max, and you guys pushed it right to us again. And I love every second of this record. And again, I can't wait for more of it. One clip I'm going to leave people with, which is something you did very recently, and it's a song that ironically I have an acoustic duo that I played in before this started. I've been singing for about 15 years. And then I formed a duo with my partner, Suzanne, who I live with. She hadn't played guitar in 35 years, and we called The Greek and the Freak. And we played 15 or 20 live gigs. We've had an amazing run. And again, one reason I bring it up is because it kept me sane as a singer, even not as a professional level like you, but as a professional singer who goes out and plays gigs. It kept my ass saved because I got to keep singing. And one song we just did about 4 months ago when the protests were going on about 10 miles down the road in Washington, D.C., and times were pretty damn insane downtown.
Oh, yeah.
To be about 6 months ago or whatever. We did this song, and then we just did it again in our pipe stem about a week or two ago. So when I saw you did This Land Is Your Land, and the way you did it on the porch, and the way you did it so authentically with the fingering. And then I didn't know if I expected Breezy and Max to pop in. I thought maybe it was, you just kind of, this is what made you pick This Land Is Your Land to bounce that out there?
Well, it just, I've always loved that song. I love what that song stands for. I love what it's about. I love its melody.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. And it just felt like the right song at the right time.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I love the version. Everybody, this is Rev and Breezy and Max on the porch doing Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land. This land is your land. Boy, that man, how much fun. And, again, there is a thing that I see with the two of you and Max, but the two of you, Breezy and you, the look she still gives, she has those same wonderful, emotional, fun looks at you that she had, the videos that I've seen in your whole career. And it must feel that you guys got through this together, right?
Oh yeah, man. If it's one thing, I've learned a lot more than one thing last year and a half, let me tell you. But one big one is that really home for me is just wherever Breezy is. That's it. It don't really matter. And when she was sick, that was the hardest part for me. Like I know there was a lot of stuff going on, but that was actually the worst part for me. So I just wasn't sure if she was going to get well, and then dealing with stuff, this last year and a half. Like I just want her to be well and us to get back on the road again. You know, that's all that really matters to me. You know, and
Yeah.
it was everything else. Everything else come back if we can just do that.
Well, I think it will. I mean, you know, we won't get into the depth of what's going on right now and why things are spreading and all that stuff. We all have our own feelings about things, but what music is doing is keeping you guys going. And this record, Dance Songs from Hard Times, is fabulous. I think it's all you. You did yourself justice. I can't wait to get out and see you again too. I hope the venues don't shut back down. That's something I know you guys are kind of spinning a little bit in your head, but Summerfest.
Death. I never thought that it was just,
I know. And the ZZ Top story that we started with, which I had no idea about until about an hour before the show. And I saw, oh my God, they're playing with ZZ and Dusty's gone. The fact that you're doing that, I wish you not only luck on that tour, Rev, not only luck with obviously Breezy's health and your health, but just you keeping the music going, keeping yourself happy, and keeping that sound, because there's nothing like what you do in my book. And I'm been doing this a long time, and I'm 60 years old, and there is nothing like Reverend Peyton and the Big Damn Band. Nothing. So keep it going, because we all love you.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for talking with me today. Sure appreciate it.
My pleasure, brother. We'll be in touch and keep in close touch. Yeah, that is one very unique and special guy. Has a heart of gold. He is just a powerful, dynamic, strong, and, you know, really tried to stay active and durable during this, and was able to continue to play and then record songs and play songs. So way to go, Reverend Peyton and Breezy and the band. And you guys are something special. Keep in close touch. And we will continue to follow you guys as you're going along out of this thing, and can jump back into touring and things like that. Thanks for being here, Reverend. Just wanted to tell everybody to go to the Zebra on Facebook, and you get a click sign up and like and things like that right on the page there, and you become a member of the Zebra family, and you get pinged with wonderful stories, wonderful live clips, wonderful programs on ZTV, other things around the region that you would be very, very glad to know about and become involved with. So go to the Zebra and also the ZTV page. That's where Living on Music is a part of, as well as a number of other programs. Go to ZTV and sign up as well. The Zebra newspaper is out, and all the time, actually. It's wonderfully durable as a newspaper, a monthly newspaper. And it is out again, September issue. Go to the boxes around town, find it, and you will love the Zebra newspaper. If you'd like to get it, subscribe to it at a very nominal fee. Here you go, right here, thezebra.org. And that's where you click down at the bottom there, CC, right there, subscribe, pink, hit that, and then subscribe to the Zebra newspaper, and you will not be sorry. It'll be a wonderful part of your life. Living on Music is a production of Zebra Press. Our Living on Music associate producer and editor is my longtime friend and fabulous musician and editor. Also, he is the man behind the scenes right now on the edit board, and that is Todd Jones, and our Zebra Press publisher is Mary Wadland. Next week on Living on Music, get ready for a ride with one of the great Scottish UK lead singers of hard rock. And you'll really get a sense of this guy. He's very, very special. And Doogie White is my guest. Look him up. Google Doogie White. You'll see him that he's played with Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Sung lead. Sung for Yngwie Malmsteen. Sung for Michael Schenker. Sung with John Lord of Deep Purple. He's one of those guys who's bounced around through bands, had his own bands, and stayed active for 40 years. It's just been an incredible ride. And you'll see it next Monday, when you can begin to watch the next episode of Living on Music. Until then, remember, through this all, it doesn't take a lot of effort. Just be the good news in someone's life, huh? See ya.